Alright, so I said last episode was the final episode, but there's one more thing that you guys probably want to do, and it's easily making it so that when you click a button, it goes to a new dialogue. So how do we do that? Let's go to our scripts and go to our dialogue options. Let that boot up. And we're just going to add a public dialogue base and call it next dialogue. And let's put this above button name real quick. Let's go back to our test dialogue. And now we see there's a little place where you can put a new dialogue here. But right now it doesn't do anything. It's just a place for us to put another dialogue. So let's figure out how we're going to do that. So we need to go to the next dialogue when we click on a button. So in order to do that, we're going to go to our scripts and go to our Unity event handler, which is going to be on our buttons. So this is what happens when you click on a button. This is what happens when you click on this button. And you don't have to put that, that's just for us to know. And so we're going to have a public dialog base here. We'll call it my dialogue. And when we click on this button, we want to trigger this dialog, which we're going to modify in our dialog manager. But for now, we'll say if my dialog is not equal to null, null. So that means that if there is something here, then let's trigger it. So go to our dialog manager, dot instance, dot, what did I call it? What did I call you again? NQ dialog? NQ dialog. I'm going to pass in my dialog. Okay, cool. So now that we have this, we can go to our dialog manager and we can set that whenever we loop through all the buttons. So the way we're going to do that is that we have access to the event handler here. We can just say my event handler. I'll actually say if first we need to check if there is something if there is a next dialog to go to in our little test here. So if we have something here, then let's open it up and start the new dialog. If there's nothing here, then let's just do nothing. Because not all the time you want to trigger a new dialog. So we're going to check if there is a dialog there in our dialog base, or in our dialog options. So let's go dialog options, options info, I dot next dialog. If it is not equal to null, not equal to null, then we can set it. And the way we do that is my event handler dot, and we created a new dialog and called it my dialog. Make it equal, and we can just copy paste this part right here. And if there is nothing there, then let's just set it to null. So let's copy paste this. It's equal to null. And that should be about it. That's all we need. So let's test it out. Let's clean this up a little bit. I just have this bunch of stuff here because we were doing tests from our last episode. Let's do that. And let's say when we click on Tom, it's gonna say something like, and we can either do dialogues or dialogue options. So if we pass in a dialogue, then it's just going to read it. If we do another dialogue options, then another option is going to pop up. For now, let's just do a new regular dialogue. We'll call it regular dialogue. And let's say if you click on, what does it say, Tom, then your name will be Tom. And let's just say, hi, my name is Tom. Let's throw that in there. Let's see what happens. So I click on Tom and say, hi, my name is Tom. Boom. And let's say you want another option to come up. You can do that too. Let's say something like, what's your last name dialogue. And let's say, what's your last name, Tom? Maybe 2, let's just say it's, I don't know, Smith, or, Lamb. Okay, that's terrible. Oh well. I'm not good at thinking of last names. Alright, so you have either Smith or Lamb, and let's say there is no options after this. What happens? Well, let's find out. Let's drag that in. What's your name? And then boom, what's your last name, Tom? You can say Lamb, sure. You can even add some text here too, before the actual question pops up. New text stuff. Boom. I just realized we didn't deactivate the other stuff. So only 2 should pop up, but 4 pops up because we forgot to deactivate all the stuff, all the options before setting them active. So let's go do that real quick. I forgot to do that. So let's go find out where we activate our options. That's not it. This is it. Okay, so let's really quickly set them all active to false first. So we'll do options buttons. We'll have to make a new for loop. A little tedious, but I'll probably find a better way to do this, but for this demo's sake, we're just gonna do it like this. So we need to get the amount of buttons there are. So in order to do that, options buttons. Options buttons. Where'd it go? Buttons. There you go. Option buttons. Dot length. Do option buttons. Set active false. Alright, so we turn them all off first, and then we turn on the ones that we want to turn on. And that should fix it. It's name Tom, we get some new text, boom, and then there's only 2 options here you can choose from. And then let's say if we want to, what happens when we click on one, and there's no, as you can see here in the last name dialog, there's no next dialog. So what happens when there's next dialog? Well, it'll just close. And that is actually it. I don't think there's going to be any more after this, though if you guys have suggestions on if you want something more, feel free to comment below and I'll make a video about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.